the royal
We do nothing
public.
wrong. I mean, we're just perfectly reacting to it. Everyone else is wrong.
Obviously. That's the point of this podcast, is that we are right and people should listen to us. There's your clip, business boys. There's your show promo clip.
Hello and welcome to HR Confessions. I'm Rebecca Taylor.
And I'm Kim Rower. We're here bringing you unfiltered perspectives from the world of HR with real stories and hopefully some good advice.
As I always say, hopefully.
I have to throw that in there because you never know. Maybe it's bad advice.
I know. And today I'm excited to say that we're joined by our special guest, Mita Malik. Yay! Cute applause. Mita is a Wall Street Journal and USA Today best-selling author. She's on a mission to fix what's broken in our workplaces, and she's been both a marketing and a human resources executive with a track record of transforming businesses. And her highly anticipated next book, The Devil Emails at Midnight, What Good Leaders Can Learn from Bad Bosses, is coming out soon. Welcome, Mita.
Oh, I'm so excited. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Certified badass here on the pod. Very excited.
Thank you. Right back at you both.
When I knew that you were coming onto this, knowing that you write about leadership, you write about, your experiences in HR, you do all these things, knowing the name of your book, The Devil Emails at Midnight, I had to bring in a story of a bad manager. So I hope you're ready for that.
Yes.
So it's kind of one of those ones where I was first listening to it because this was another anonymous voice note that I got.
Wow.
I thought it was being made up. Like it kind of sounded like it was like, this sounds a little wacky. And so I'm kind of thinking of it. The working title is sort of like Trash Panda or Office Hero. You decide.
Oh my God.
No.
Wow.
Can't wait.
Yeah. It's like, stories that kind of start with a misunderstanding and just like ends in like something is not what you expected.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm on the edge of my seat. All right, here we go.
I know. We ready? Okay. We're getting into it. So we are at a mid-sized company. So one of those like we're like family environments that's just big enough to need policies, but small enough to ignore them.
Red flags already.
Yep.
Okay.
All around.
We get the red flags out there right at the beginning of the show.
At the beginning.
Oh yeah. The ones where I hear mid-sized sometimes and I'm just like, it's either going to
Red
be
flag.
like venture capital or it's going to be like one of these, like who knows?
Nice.
So our hero today, we're going to call her Riley. She's been with the company for a couple of years. She's one of those employees who like really cares. She follows the rules. She shows up early and she does the weird parts of the job that no one likes. Very much I go above and beyond. Culture is family. Culture is kind of doing that type of stuff. So part of the things that she does that's above and beyond is trash duty. So every night at the end of the day, she hauls out the garbage, locks up, and goes home. So this is part of where I have questions, but it sounds like she's basically like an office manager. Like it sounds like that's her role, and she goes above and beyond with sort of this part of it. So the company has this sweet little deal with their waste management vendor.
I'm scared.
So-
Let me just tell you, I'm scared because I know it's coming.
I know. Well, there's the trash company, right? Trash companies are notoriously, normal to deal with, but
Oh boy.
But so like with this one, the sweet deal that they have is that if they recycle enough by weight, like if the company recycles enough by like separating out cardboards, cans, bottles, they would get a $1,500 check every month and free trash pickup. So it's kind of like, I guess, the equivalent of like having solar panels on your house, but for corporate trash.
Incentivizing recycling. Love to see it.
Right.
Great.
But the problem is that no one was actually sorting the recycling. All the employees just kind of like, they don't care. They don't give a shit. They're just throwing everything in. I know, Kim, I'm sorry.
Is Riley's, I hope she's investing in some gloves for her garbage sorting duties.
I'm sure she does.
Poor Riley.
And so she takes on this sorting herself. After everyone else leaves, she'll pop in some earbuds. She'll start digging through the trash.
Oh my God.
It's cardboard
She's
in one
taking the
bin.
trash out. She has to sort it before she
Sorting
takes
it.
the trash, locks
Oh my
the door.
God. Oh my
And going
God.
through, I'm just thinking, I'm like, how much of this trash or recycling is covered in like food and all this other stuff that makes it unrecyclable?
Coffee, juice.
Yeah.
Oh.
But I'm like, I don't know why she's doing it, but Riley's like, this is my thing. And I think it's like, I also don't have the timeline for this, but there was always sort of like that time track where it's like, if you give your all to the company, it'll be rewarded, you'll get there.
Yeah.
I'm hearing some of that mentality in this. Because I'm like, why would Riley care that the company is getting a $1,500 rebate and free trash? But
yeah, I mean,
she does.
Famously, the office manager does great when the company does well.
Right.
Famously, they're always one of the highest payouts in a liquidity event.
And very appreciated too. Very
always. Yeah, definitely.
So she's got
baby.
her cardboard in one bin. She's got sticky soda bottles, like weird trophies stacked into another. And she wasn't doing it for the recognition or the applause. She's doing it because it saved the company money, and she always wanted to go above and beyond.
Wow.
Until one night.
Oh, God.
One specific night. She walks into work. There's her last night of sorting the trash. She walks into work, and she runs into her manager, who we're going to lovingly call Janine. And Janine's waiting for her. Like, when you walk in and you see that someone's just like, I've been waiting for you to get here. So Janine is standing like stiff behind a desk, and she's just sort of like, she looks like she's in a huff. Like she's just like not happy. So Riley just walks in. She's still sipping her iced coffee. She's like ready to start her day. And Janine, with the formality of someone announcing an execution, says, Riley, please sit down. And Riley's like, is everything okay? And Janine goes, no, I have here a final written warning for misconduct.
What?
So Riley's like, what the fuck's going on? So she follows Janine like into her office. She's like, what the hell's going on? Like misconduct. Like what's going on? So Janine goes, you've been seen going through the trash repeatedly. That's not in your job description. This is theft of company time.
What?
What? This is why I'm like, I feel like there's something missing here, but this is what we have to work with.
Theft of company time.
Theft of company time. Her going through the trash while she's at work.
Is she like logging overtime for this?
Or maybe she doesn't. Maybe if like she leaves, she's supposed to leave at like 5. Maybe she starts sorting the trash at like 4:30. Like maybe it's above and beyond, but it's within the window of her work hours. This is where we're taking some like creative liberties here. But so Riley's just like, she's just as confused as we are, because she's like, what are you talking about? So, Janine's like, theft of company time. Riley's like, are you being serious? And Janine goes, you're not authorized to handle materials outside of your assigned duties. So Janine is like, I'd love to hear kind of your thoughts of like how you're kind of reading this interaction, because Riley just seems like she's perfect and Janine just seems like she's awful, which is why I know the story came from Riley. No discredit to you, Riley. But so like, what's your read on what type of a manager Janine might be, just in this quick little interaction we've got?
Wait, what happens next? Do we know anything else, or that's it?
Oh, we do.
Oh, we're taking a pause. Okay.
This is our pause to check in. Yeah. This is where we get to judge people that we don't know.
This is what my spidey sense is telling me is that there's something else going on in their relationship, and Janine wants to, unfortunately, catch Riley on an issue that's not really a performance issue, because either she doesn't like her, she doesn't want her in the role, she's trying to bring someone else in. Like, I'm trying to think about what's Janine's psychology behind doing this, because it's absolutely hilarious and ridiculous that this is the thing that she's calling her in on, as a and the language that you used was like final written warning. Final what? For what? So they're trying to make a path to have her move on and leave. That's what I think. I don't know, Kim, what you're reading.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. That definitely seems what she's being set up for. Is like, because you don't issue a final written warning unless you're trying to, like, have your ass covered. There's a way that I feel like this could have gone differently. I mean, obviously, even up to this point, but when you said like you're not authorized to handle materials outside your scope, I'm over here thinking like health and safety and like OSHA requirements and stuff. I'm like, she's not maybe authorized to be going through trash. Like, what if there's hazardous waste in there? What if there's needles or like what? I don't know. If it's not known to the company that this is part of her job duties, that she's like going through the trash to sort it for recycling, there could be liability issues. There could be, she could get injured during this. Maybe she like slices her hand open on a can. And then like, there could be a legitimate liability concern from Janine. Yeah. But this is not how you handle that. If that is, I'm like, can I give Janine any benefit of the doubt at all? And also, how do you get to a final written warning with no prior warnings?
What's the final?
Yeah. So what's so
Final
I want
and
you to,
only.
So remember it's not a charge, right? Because it's just it's a warning, but like remember it's for theft, time theft. That's important.
Time theft,
or just
right.
just theft in general. So keep that in the back of your mind.
Oh boy.
So, so Riley's just basically like, so, Janine's like, this isn't your job duty. This is theft of company time. And Riley's like, are you being serious? Like, they don't seem like they have like a bad relationship or a good one. It seems like it's kind of just like it's there, but she's like, are you being serious right now? And so Janine's like, you're not authorized to handle materials outside your assigned duties. Riley's just like sitting there blinking. She's like Gen Z staring, as they call it now. She's like, what the frick are you talking about? Yeah. And Riley's like, you mean the recycling? I've been sorting it. We get a rebate from the trash company plus the free pickup. Like she's trying to kind of explain this. Janine just waves her hand. She goes, it's not your responsibility and it ends now. And she just like, I guess like dismisses her out of the office. And there's like, I have so many questions. I honestly have so many questions about like the history of Riley and Janine, because like you said, Mita, it sounds personal. Like it sounds just like there's something there. So I think one of the things that is just like interesting to kind of think about is like, when you do have someone who's an employee who's going above and beyond, regardless of how you feel about the way that they're doing that, do you think that type of behavior should be rewarded? Do you think it should be guided? Like, what do you think you should do? Because that's kind of like the root of it, is like Riley's basically being punished for going above and beyond. So Mita, what's your take if you were a manager?
What Janine has done, in my opinion, has just like crushed Riley's spirit in that moment. Like she wants to go above and beyond for the company, and whatever the backstory is. And I love Kim's point about that there actually could be some hazardous situation here without explaining it, just coming in, controlling and saying this is done and over. How do you actually think about how you harness your employees, your team's energy for things that they want to go above and beyond to? And to Kim's point, to sit down with her and say, I know you're doing this, and actually it's come to my attention that this is a liability for the company. I'm so happy that you've been saving us this money, but we can't continue to do it in this way anymore. Like that would have landed so differently, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And like find other ways to channel this enthusiasm.
Yes.
And because this is, I always feel like as a manager, your number one job is to support the growth and development of your employees. And knowing what I know now about the type of role that Riley is in, that type of shit is never going to get her anywhere in her career in a company like this, because it's unseen labor. Yes. It's probably small enough money that like the finance team isn't even going to be like, it's not like they're going to be like, thank you for saving us this money, Riley. We really like, it's just going to go unnoticed. And so I would probably have a hard talk with her about like going above and beyond strategically, and like how she can channel that energy of like, I want to go above and beyond, but let's maybe focus it into things that are going to like help you in addition to helping the company. Because this is like you staying late to sort the garbage to get a rebate. Like that's like your heart's in the right place. But as your manager, let me coach you into some more better
productive.
The irony is that it did go noticed. That's the irony.
That is true.
Right. It's hilarious. I totally agree with you. That's not, unless, I think, Rebecca, to your point, we don't know her backstory, but if she's the office manager and she does have a budget, right, and there's cost savings involved, then there's a different story. But it's like the irony of, I totally agree. It's invisible labor, and yet suddenly it's visible, and everyone's making a big deal about it.
And I'll say, when I was an office manager and my job was taking out the garbage, I outsourced that shit to the other people on my team, because I was like, my job is to make sure the garbage gets taken out. I don't have to be the only person lugging these
every day.
disgusting heavy bags down into the freight elevator. So I'm going to get volunteers from my engineering team, who are the only other employees in the office. Like, hey guys, help me take out the trash. I'm not doing this myself. Maybe it's just my like bias against trash duty.
I think like if I were Janine too, I'd be like, okay, you obviously want to go above and beyond. This is also a project that you've taken on, sorting the trash, whatever. So I would say, let's translate this into something that could fall within your scope. Let's start a recycling program. Let's, how about we use this as sort of a way? Because it's like, that is something that's really hard to, you can't force someone to have just sort of that want, that need to do that. So you do have to harness and channel it.
One of the things I was thinking about is this concept that I think about called talent hoarding. And when we don't want people on our team to do things that actually effectively make things better for other parts of the company. And so in Janine's case, it's like, yeah, you have all this energy. Let's say she's not the office manager and she's just doing this because she cares. Yeah. Janine's like, I don't want you spending your time on that because that doesn't benefit me.
Right. It doesn't make me look good.
It doesn't make me look good. So I'm going to stop this right now. It's your final warning. Stop that. Bleep, bleep. Yep. And any extra energy, you can do stuff that I need you to do to make me look good. So I'm also wondering if that's part of her motivation for being so direct about it.
Yeah, I think it's a really good call out, is that like a lot of managers at the end of the day do have mostly self-serving, or they can have mostly self-serving motivations, and it has to be sort of like reconditioned to sort of think about how can we bring out better stuff in our people. And so Riley,
especially if it's a family culture. I didn't mean to, I'm just adding that in. Like, funny. It's like one big family, but not.
Right. Or it's like you're like the one that you're like the, I don't know, the kid in the family that no one cares about, or like the one that's just like, oh, you know, like no one notices you, but yet everyone probably relies on you for something.
Sure.
Yeah. And so Riley does exactly what you think that she would do with someone whose spirits crush. She's just no fool. She stops doing it. She's like, this isn't worth losing my job over, but also like, fuck you, Janine. Like, okay, like you're going to give me a final written warning and saying that I'm stealing money from the company. Fine. Or stealing time. I'm just not going to move ahead with this. So she does her job exactly as it's written. Trash goes out. Nothing's sorted. Like, she still's responsible for taking it out, but she's not going to go above and beyond to sort it. So soda bottles are clinking in with the printer paper. It's like the recycling bin is empty. In her soul, she's like, I hate this so much, but whatever. 1 week goes by, 2, 3. The end of the month rolls around, and Janine's back in the office. And this time she's fuming. So Janine is again like, Janine just sounds like a piece of work. Yeah. Like she's just, she's waiting for her. She's like, and so Riley encounters her in the break room. She finally like runs into Janine. And Janine goes, of course I have more crap to deal with. Do you know why we suddenly have a trash bill? So she's like confronting Riley. She's like, we have a trash bill now. What the frick is this?
Oh my God.
So this is what Janine does. Without waiting for an answer, she storms past Riley to her office, yanks the phone off the receiver, and dials the waste company. I just picture this, and I'm just like, I had to take some creative liberties because like we only know the one side of the conversation as far as Riley told it, but I'm going to fill in the trash person, like the trash company side, because like we can assume. So Janine's like, hi, yes, I need to speak with someone about our trash service. Where is this sudden charge coming from? The trash rep goes, right, ma'am, your company fell below the recycling threshold this month, so you're no longer eligible for the rebate or for the comped pickup. Janine goes, excuse me? We haven't paid for trash in years. Trash rep, yes, ma'am, because your office was sorting recyclables. The recyclables haven't been sorted this month, meaning you're no longer hitting the weight minimum for the rebate. Janine goes, what rebate? The trash rep goes, your company has been receiving a $1,500 trash rebate addressed to you every month. And Janine just goes, I'll have to investigate this. Thank you. She hangs up the phone. So let's just recap. So we have an employee, Riley, who was making sure that she was taking out the trash so that this company got its $1,500 rebate and its free trash stuff. These checks are apparently going out. The trash company says that they're going out, but the manager, Janine, who they're going to, says that she doesn't know anything about them. Is anyone's spidey sense up?
Where are these checks going? Janine
has been pocketing the checks. Janine has been stealing the checks. Yes. She thought they were some kind of bonus.
Janine's stealing the money?
Janine's stealing the money. She thought that it was for her. She thought that it was like a discretionary bonus for her for like
coming
doing a
from
great
the waste
job.
management company.
This is
Don't
wild.
even get me started.
No.
What?
No.
Janine.
I'm like, I'm sorry, you're accusing Riley of stealing company time when you're literally stealing company money from the trash company.
Wow.
Like, yeah. So
$1,500 a month for years.
Yes, for years.
Just like, wow.
Just like, wow, good on me. Good Janine. Like, go me.
Thank you, trash company, for giving me a bonus check. What the?
Which makes no sense.
An idiot.
It makes no
what
sense.
An idiot.
Makes no sense.
Okay.
It makes no sense. This was another anonymous one that I'm like, it doesn't feel real, but like, there's, I have so many, I wish I could talk to this person. Riley, if you're out there, call me.
It makes no sense. Like, she knew she was stealing money. That's my read on it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
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 I totally believe that this story happened.
Yeah, that I believe. I mean, wow.
The number of times I've had an executive, back when we were in office and like the mail would come and I'd give people envelopes and they'd open it and be like, what's this check for? And I'd have to like research what the check was for, because I was working with like honest, reliable, trustworthy people who were like, what is this check?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, I'm wondering why the check was made out in such a way that Janine could cash it.
In her name. Exactly.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. That's the part that really doesn't make sense to me. Like, how was she able to steal it?
I mean, maybe
it was a cashier's check. It was just to cash.
Well, or if it was a check made out to the company and Janine is, I'm assuming she has some sort of role in operations or finance where she has
operations.
What do you call it? Like sign off privileges? Or check signing privileges?
Authorization or whatever. Yeah.
Authorization. She absolutely could have taken a company check to the bank and cashed it and kept the cash. And there's no paper trail that, aside from the paper trail from the waste management company to her.
Oh my God.
It's true. I would bet that that's probably how it's happening. That's the only way that makes sense.
The check wouldn't be made out to her. The check would be made out to the company. But I bet she has authorization to cash checks. Wow. So she could take the check to the bank, cash it, and keep the money. And the business doesn't even know about it because they didn't even know about this program, theoretically.
Well, it seems like her name was on it, but I wonder if maybe just the envelope that the check came in was addressed to her.
Like care of, like addressed to this company, care of Janine, direct this to Janine.
Yeah.
Because she's the COO or whatever she is.
Yeah. Bananas. So now Janine is like, she's realizing what's happening. And she's also realizing that like her time with the charade is probably ending. So now she's got to cover her tracks, right? Because like desperate people do
and
desperate
explain
things.
why there's a bill now.
Wow.
Because that's the other thing, is because they weren't paying a bill to the waste management company. There really was no record of this because like there's nothing going in or out, right?
Right. Someone's got to look at the books here. Someone's got to tell me what's going on.
Right. Like there were no books to look at in regard to waste management before now.
It gets wackier.
Ooh. Oh my God.
How?
Like it gets wackier. Janine sounds like a piece of work.
Oh my God, what else?
She's like, I imagine she's like trying to figure out how to cover her tracks and how to figure out what to do. So she decides to escalate the situation. She sends an email to her manager claiming that Riley... Yeah, she's claiming that Riley was doing work outside of her scope that got the company a $1,500 trash rebate, and now those rebate checks can't be found anywhere. So she's like, which is technically, I guess you could say, is like, sure, you could say that story, Janine. Like, Riley's been getting the company a rebate. Now no one knows where the checks are. So the district manager pulls up Riley's file and sees the write-up. So this is Janine's boss.
Yeah.
There in big bold letters is the offense: tampering with waste and theft of company time. So Janine's manager, who we're going to call Ken, calls Riley. So he's like, I'm going to have a conversation with Riley. So he goes, "Hi, Riley. I just saw this write-up come across my desk. Can you explain what's going on?" So he's like, I want to try to figure out, like, I've heard Janine's side. I want to get Riley's side. Kudos, Ken. That's the move, in my opinion. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so Riley lays it out. She sorted the trash to help the company hit their recycling quota. She got no recognition. She got written up, so she stopped. The company lost the rebate. They got charged. Now here we are. So Ken listens, and then his response is, "Riley, that was excellent work. Thank you for your honesty and for going above and beyond. I'll be in the office tomorrow, so I'm sure I'll be seeing you soon."
Wow. Oh.
So I'm curious. What do you think the "I'll be in the office tomorrow" says about Ken's sense
Janine's
of urgency
getting fired.
here?
I hope Janine, something's happening with me. Let's go, Ken. Go, Ken.
Sounds like Ken's not there all the time, but he will be tomorrow.
Showing up. Yeah.
Exactly. The next morning, Ken shows up. And he's got receipts, literally. So he must have done his diligence and read and figured out, like he looked at the books and he saw something wasn't right. So he pulls Janine into a closed door meeting, which, we're always like, I remember my HR director used to always be like, "I'm behind closed doors today." I'm like, oh, okay. I'm not going to go to your office.
Yeah.
Yep. So here's how I picture it went down based on what we know. So Ken goes, "Janine, I've been reviewing the recycling reports from the past 2 years. Can you tell me where the $20,000 in rebate checks were deposited?" Because you added up $20,000.
Yeah.
$20,000.
Janine blinks. Apparently this was not a long meeting. And she comes clean. She goes, I thought they were discretionary bonuses for me for overseeing operations. Just like
every month?
Evidently
For
every
how many?
month.
For 2 years. Okay.
For 2 years. For
Janine.
$20,000
Janine.
worth. So probably more than 2 years. Yeah.
Just discretionary bonuses.
Yep. And
That
Ken
happens.
goes,
That's a
"Were
normal thing.
That is a totally normal thing. From the trash company, because they pay your bonuses.
Good job, Janine.
I'm like-
we see you.
I'm like, I need a new trash company then. I'm like, I would love to get a bonus for recycling.
Oh my
So Ken,
God.
so like Ken is like, he's sort of like, okay, either she's delusional or manipulative, right? I think there's a Venn diagram of that.
The Venn
With
diagram is Janine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Venn diagram is Janine. So
Oh.
Ken asks her, were they ever reported as income? Like logged anywhere? And Janine's like, I mean, it was under my purview. It fell under, a line item that I was in charge of. And this is when Ken asks her, he goes, the checks didn't come from our company. They came from the trash company. And Janine's like, I didn't realize. Like, she's just, there's fight, fright, or flight.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
very much like just
She's in freeze.
Freeze. Yeah. She's just absolutely frozen.
Oh.
So Ken is like, he's kind of just like, all right, Janine, I got to give it to you straight. You wrote up the employee basically responsible for running the rebate program. Then coincidentally, the payment stopped. So he's like, I'm not buying this attitude that you don't know what was going on, because like you were part of this whole thing to begin with.
Yeah.
Maybe you really didn't know that the rebate, maybe you really didn't know, because why would you stop yourself from getting this $1,500 a month that you were getting away with? But
Yeah.
still doesn't make sense. So Janine tries to pivot again, because desperate people do desperate things. And Janine is just a very specific type of manager, I think. Just I can do nothing wrong. Everything is everybody else's fault. And, I'm always the victim. So Janine goes, I think Riley might have been, and Ken's like, stop. Because I already spoke to Riley. I asked HR to begin a formal investigation, and you will be placed on temporary leave while that process plays out. So as soon as she starts to throw Riley under the bus, Ken's like, no, we're not even going there.
Go,
I'm
Ken,
cutting you
go.
off right here.
Go,
yeah,
Ken.
like, I love Ken. I want to know who Ken is.
Yeah.
I want Ken to be an example.
Yeah.
Yes.
So after a few minutes, Janine gets up and leaves the office. She gathers her things. She heads to the elevator. I'm picturing like the Charlie Brown music, like the do. So then Ken walks down the hall and he calls Riley into his office. So what do you think Ken wants to talk to Riley about, other than the obvious, like, your boss is gone for a minute?
Does he want her to start the rebate program?
Operating.
Yeah.
Oh.
So he goes, I just had a very enlightening conversation with Janine. And Riley, remember, Riley's kind of been in the dark up to this point. A lot of this is like what she heard after. So she's just like, am I in trouble? Because like, she's like, I'm already on a final warning. Now my boss's boss is here. I see my boss leaving. Like, I definitely have to be in trouble, right? And Ken goes, no, not at all. I'm letting you know that effective immediately, Janine's going to be out on leave. In her absence, I need your help overseeing some of her duties, and I'd like to offer you additional compensation to account for the increased scope.
Ken.
Ken.
Ken,
Wow.
you
Does that even happen
hero.
Right?
Ken, you dreamboat.
Yes.
Wow.
And like, it's
Amazing.
kind of funny because the whole thing started when Riley was doing more than she was supposed to do. So now at the end of this, because we are basically at the end, she gets more to do, but she also gets more payment for it. Like, love this. Yay.
That's so delightful. What a happy ending.
No.
Yeah. And she's just kind of like, what? So Ken's rationale is like, you saved the company tens of thousands of dollars by going above and beyond and sorting recyclables. That attitude and output should be rewarded. You showed leadership, and that's what we like to see here. And I would like to help. I would like to support you in starting a recycling program to reinstate the rebate and to help you flex your leadership skills. Like, what a mensch.
Like, I can sigh. I'm just like a big sigh of relief now, because I didn't know how this was going to end.
Happy
I was like,
ending.
Oh, happy ending.
Oh.
I was going to ask, what are your thoughts in this moment?
And she's going to have a recycling program set up, so she's not going to have to stay late after work to separate all the recycling, hopefully, probably.
Right. She gets a resume ad. She's like, this is like a project that I took on. I saved the company money. She already knows this.
Oh, I'm so happy for her.
I mean, Ken is restoring my faith in good leadership. There are good leaders out there. I hope it's contagious. I hope there are more Kens out there.
Yes.
I really do. Like, this is how you do people. This is how you reward and recognize them.
I hope so too.
If you are the person who submitted this anonymously, please find me on LinkedIn and DM me, because I just want to give you a virtual hug, because good job, Riley. Yeah. I'm so proud of you.
Good job, Riley. We love you, Riley. And I had to give you a story where it was like you had a really bad manager and then a really good manager and like bad leadership and good leadership. And I was like, because like Mita, when I was looking for a story for you, I was like, I want to make sure that we're talking about leadership and the different manager types. I was like, I wonder if there's one that has two. And then I found this one. So I was really excited.
Amazing.
Oh my God. Mita, can you hold up the cover of your book?
Oh, yes, I will.
For those viewers who are looking at us on the YouTubes.
Yeah.
The YouTubes.
The devil emails at midnight.
But good leaders can learn from bad bosses.
I'm so excited for you all to check it out. Yes.
When I used to do manager training for like little baby managers, I always started the trainings by asking everyone to tell a story of their worst boss. And
I love that.
So everyone would go around and talk about like the shitty managers they've had and be like, okay, so what can we learn about this to not be that person for someone here? You don't be that person.
Yeah. I mean,
how did you feel?
I mean, my opening of my book is I've been a bad boss and chances are so have you.
Yeah.
It's really easy to, crap on all the bad bosses we have and talk about them. But it's to your point, which is what I love. You said you started your trainings with. It's like, okay, let's spill the tea. And then what are we going to learn from this? How can we not be that person or hold on to those?
Be a Ken.
Be a Ken. Don't be a Janine.
Yeah. Yeah. And I also love that. I mean, I'm making some assumptions here, but I'm assuming that Ken is like an older man, like older than Riley. He's probably a man at least in his 40s or 50s or so, if he's the boss's boss.
Definitely older than Riley, just in his rank, assuming so, right?
I'm assuming they're not the same age just based on the dynamics that you usually see in these companies. And it sadly is like so rare that is the case, where you have this like good, kind boss who's like looking out for you and setting you up for success when there is both that age and gender dynamic at play. It's just like you don't see it as often, especially in roles like Riley's, where mostly they're not even thinking about what you're doing.
So it's like more of like a thankless role anyway.
So I'm like, I feel like I have a renewed sense of faith in the world.
Wow, I never get that from you. So yay.
In our workplaces, I feel like this is the way when someone's spirit's been crushed, which is what happened in the story. How do you turn that around? And I think he role modeled exactly what you can do to reset it and make it feel like supported. And yes, we thank you for going above and beyond. We want to continue to do that here, and I'm here to help you.
And I bet she continued to stay with that company and grow there because she was being supported and recognized.
I bet she's still there.
Cheering in
I know, they always chime in.
They were not doing excited cheers in our last episode. For those of you listening in chronological order, the dogs were ruing with dismay in our last episode.
They had a moment.
This is a good palate cleanser to get us at our mid-season point. Oh, how lovely.
I feel like there's also Janine. So here's like one instance where you have an employee who's punished for like going above and beyond or showing initiative, right? It's like your manager puts you on a written warning for some reason. But are there other ways that employees are punished for going above and beyond?
I mean, they can get like ostracized or like made fun of by people, like ostracized socially as the like brown noser or like teacher's pet kind of.
Yeah. I think also the phenomenon that happens that's been well researched with Black women when you go from teachers, go from pet to threat, often pet to threat.
Yeah.
And well documented in research. And that idea that you are doing really well going above and beyond and your boss all of a sudden perceives you as a threat. So then you're shunned for doing those things.
Yeah.
And we talked about the talent hoarding piece. I don't want you to go above and beyond for the company, only just for me and my team. And then there's the control piece. Like, I don't know what you're doing. Like, why are you doing this? I need to know exactly what you're doing. And I'm hearing it from other people. And that makes me uncomfortable. And it like destabilizes me. And that's just the truth about workplaces. There's power dynamics and hierarchy. And so that comes in when anyone ultimately is insecure. as a leader, and they're not a leader, they're a boss then, I'll say, but that's when they'll react in these ways.
Yep.
Yeah.
They'll react in these ways.
Yeah.
I'm so confused as to why. I just want to know, Janine, why did you put a stop to this? It was benefiting you.
I know.
And
She didn't
you
know.
could have gotten away with it.
She didn't know.
Oh, right. She didn't know. She didn't
Yeah,
connect.
she didn't know. She was so innocent.
She didn't. She
was
didn't
on a
know
power
that her
trip.
mystery checks. She didn't know her mystery checks were a direct result of Riley going above and beyond.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Like
what I
she
think,
knew
is
they
that-
were coming from the waste management company, but she didn't know that it was because of Riley's work.
That's what I think.
And I think
Yeah.
the pet to threat, I think that is a really good lens to look at this on, because even if she didn't make the association that she was getting the check because of Riley going above and beyond, let's assume she didn't make that association. She was, I would imagine, feeling threatened by Riley's commitment to the work, and that her work was maybe going to be visible to other people on the team. Like when people said, hey, Riley's staying late and going through the trash.
Yeah.
You know, maybe someone was legitimately concerned that Riley was digging through the trash, but it sounds like that turned her into a threat.
That sounds like someone who like threw something away that they didn't want someone to find. Like they're like, I don't know.
This is like, I wanted to bring up something Kim said about the invisible labor. And I, throughout my career, went above and beyond on the wrong things.
Yeah.
Right. And those were things, as you were saying, they're not going to get you promoted, whether it's the trash, depending on what your role is, the baby shower, the bridal shower, the going away party, the happy hours. But it's like consistently doing that over and over again, thinking that going above and beyond would get me promoted. And that, that actually took me away from the time I could be doing on more strategic work. So if you have a good manager, a good leader who recognizes that, they might sit down and say, Kim, I know you have all this energy. I want to actually harness it toward things that are going to help drive the business. And listen, we all have things we don't want to do in our jobs. Whether it's taking the trash.
That's why we get paid to do them.
How do you minimize that? Whereas for me, like my parents were always just like, work hard. Like I could outwork anyone. Work your butt off. I could outwork the two of you, but I work on the wrong things. I'm not working on the right things. And then it doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
So that channeling that might be another reason a good leader will stop you from going above and beyond.
Yeah. So that's where I wanted to touch on this too. So I love that you're saying this, Mita, because there's also sort of, it contributes to the pay gap, to the wage gap, where it tends to be a specific demographic of people who do go above and beyond, quote unquote. And it's usually in sort of the thankless labor type thing. So, you know, you're the person who's orchestrating the office party, or you're sorting recyclables because no one else is going to.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, like, you're not getting recognized for it. You're not getting promoted for it. And then other people are doing work that they're getting recognized for. They might not be working as hard, but they're working according to certain optics.
They're working on things that are going to get them promoted. And, you know, taking out the trash, depending on what your role is not going to get you promoted.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's also part of, I mean, I feel like I always find a way to bring it back to storytelling, but there's also, when you're thinking about how you want to go above and beyond or not, there's the storytelling element of it. Like she was going above and beyond in an area that was helping the company. Yes. But it sounds like she wasn't telling the story of that to people. She wasn't telling the right people, like, I'm like, the reason I do this recycling project is that it saves the company money and gets our free thing and blah, blah, blah. I mean, this would have stopped Janine's theft years ago and given Riley the kind of visibility she needed to be recognized for her work, instead of just like this silent suffering thing that we tend to do as women of like, well, I'll just help. I just want to be helpful. I'm going to take this on and like, I'm not going to make a fuss about it. I'm not doing it for the praise. I'm doing it to be helpful. But get rid of that shit.
Listen, cost savings, those are music to leaders' ears. Cost savings, it's like, if you don't advocate for yourself, no one's going to do it for you. And I love that, that she should have been telling people that more loudly, that she was doing it.
So I love that we're going here, because my closing question for us is, what advice do you have for the Rileys of the world who are doing the right thing, or in their mind, they think they're doing the right thing, they're not getting credit? Like, how do you, what's advice that you have for people like Riley who should get recognition and aren't? And what do you want to tell them?
I'm going to just riff on what Kim said, which it's like the analogy of like, I make a great piece of content and watch it alone in my bedroom all day long. Like, I don't share with anyone. Like, nobody knows. Like, how are people supposed to know? And so often in my career, I was like working so hard on sometimes the right things. Yeah. And I just thought my fairy godmother would show up to my desk and promote me. And it's
post
like,
a lot
That'd
about
be
that too.
easier. That would
Yeah,
be so
and
much
like,
easier though.
yeah. And I'm like, you have to be able to share the story and tell people the things that you're working on so you can get credit for them. Otherwise, no one's going to know. We're not mind readers. And I wish I could go back and tell my younger self that. So I love, Kim, that point of like advocating for yourself and sharing what you're working on.
I will say because this is something that I continue to struggle with, is the like self-promotion element of it. It can feel really icky if that's not your personality type or that's not your strength. A way to do this that is less, that feels less like ego show-offy, if that's something that you are worried about, is to bring it up in the context with your manager of like, I just wanted to share with you, there's these things that I've been noticing and doing that weren't really asked of me, but like I've been noticing and doing them. And I wanted to know if is this the right group of things I should be doing? Or are there other places that you would rather see me focus my energy? And like, I'm happy to keep doing these things because I can see that it's solving a problem, but it's not technically part of my job. And I'm wondering if I should redirect that energy or keep doing this. And then you're letting your manager give you credit or decide or be like, oh, that's great that you've been doing that. I had no idea. Yeah. Like, keep doing it. Or I'm so glad you did that. But actually, somebody on that other team should be tackling that. So let's like redirect that to that. And then now you'll have a little extra time to do this other project I'd like you to do. And just opening up that conversation of your career growth and development. You are not expected to know everything you need to know about how to do your job and what you should be focusing on. But I think so much of this like hustle work ethic that we're trained on, just like you were saying, Mita, is just like work harder, and then work harder, and just keep working and keep working hard. And there's no area there's no room in that mindset. There's no room for reflection, right? There's no room for context. It's just like something needs to be done, do it. Right. But like, just because I can doesn't mean I should. That's like I have it like literally written on signs around my desk. Love that. Like, and maybe you should. Maybe she should be doing it, but then at least, your boss would know that you're doing it.
Yeah. There's like intention behind it and reason behind it, and you're not just like doing it just to do it. Yeah.
It's part of your strategic growth plan.
Yes.
Yeah. And if you are a boss and a leader, look for your Rileys, see who's going above and beyond or who might be like intentionally look out for that, because we know that it is a gap for people to promote themselves who are working really, really hard. So like, I also think it's responsibility of leadership to kind of look, to their direct reports and kind of acknowledge the things that they do and help them direct that energy, like be proactive about it. Because if your management style is dependent on your direct report having good like business acumen or just even awareness, then it's why everyone's so confused all the time. So, understanding that is important.
I thought of something else I wanted to add to this, because I've been in a lot of work cultures mostly in the tech scene, where there's always a company value around like self-determination or self-direction or like not needing to be handheld. These are all like very like get shit done, work really hard, and don't ask anyone for help are like the values of the company, which is a whole other topic for a whole other day. But as a manager, if you know that that's what you're telling employees to do, then you have to proactively create space to have those conversations. One of my favorite interview questions that I added to an office manager, HR coordinator kind of role was an interactive question where we say like, this is back when we were in a physical office, but it's like, let's take a walk around the office together. I'll give you a tour, and I want you to point out to me things that you think need fixing or things that you would do differently or things, because I don't see everything all the time and I don't know that. And I want us to have a relationship where you can point out things that are wrong, even if you've already gone and fixed them, like make sure I know about it. And you can do that in a virtual environment. You can do that with HR. Like, what are common problems you're seeing or that you've seen? Like, what's something in a previous job that you did even though no one asked you to? Or like, you can still have self-direction and self-determination and autonomy and all these things, and like let people know what you're doing.
They don't have to live in isolation.
No. And it's often it should be on the leader to open up that conversation and say like, is there anything you're doing that I don't know about? Are you working on anything that I'm not involved in? Like, how can I support you? How can, like, because leaders, especially nowadays, and you see this in your work, Mita, like leaders have way too many direct reports, and they also still have IC responsibilities. So like they can't be aware of everything that their Rileys are doing.
They can ask the questions, as you're saying.
They can ask the questions. Exactly.
Wait, so is the moral of the story, it's be a Ken, don't be a Janine.
Yeah, that's right.
That's it. More Kens, please, less Janine.
More Kenergy.
And don't steal money from your company.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a good moral to just have.
Honestly.
That should just be a good moral for all. So,
I mean,
Don't
wow.
steal money from the company.
yes. And that is all for this episode of HR Confessions. Thank you so much, Mita, for coming. This was
thank
so
you both
fun.
for having me. I just really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Yes. Where can we get your book? And
Oh,
when?
you can find it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, independent bookseller, wherever you buy books. It comes out September 30th. You can pre-order now. It's Countdown is on in my house. Yes.
Yay! So excited. And if you have a confession you want to share with us, you can reach out to us at hrconfessions@skillcycle.com. You can DM me on LinkedIn. You can send me random voice notes, which is where a lot of these have been coming from lately. Just don't send stuff to Kim because I'm supposed to subscribe. I'm supposed to surprise her. But also
subscribe and
like and subscribe. And until next time, thank you everybody. Thank you for listening and have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.